Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.
We hope you enjoy listening to this podcast of St. Louis on the Air, brought to you by University College at Washington University. With undergraduate and graduate programs, part-time, evening, and online. University College at Washington University, offering world-class education within reach.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. Laclede's Landing is going to be jumping over the Labor Day weekend as the 23rd Big Muddy Blues Festival takes over. Musicians, that is, from many genres from all over the area will be converging on riverfront venues to do their thing. With me in studio to tell us all about it are Jeremy Segal-Moss, the co-coordinator of the festival, and Tracy Mitchell, a guitar player for Love Jones. Thank you so much for being with us. Great to have you guys.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Okay, this is going to be a heck of a weekend, Jeremy.
It sure is. It's a big one.
Anybody else in the country doing anything like this?
I don't know. This is the 23rd annual Big Muddy Blues Festival. Before that, it was called the Blues and Heritage Festival, which started in '86. And as there's 70 St. Louis groups, I feel like this might be a one-of-a-kind show.
How do you put something like this together? 70 groups, that's a lot of people to pull together in a 3-day weekend.
It is. St. Louis is flush with music. There's so many bands and of quality and of historical importance. So really you just set down to work in it. How many stages, how many bands can we fit, what's the budget, and even with the 70 bands that are here, I mean, it could have been 125 without trying.
You make it sound so easy.
Good. That's what you're supposed to do.
All right, Tracy, what is it about the blues that will attract 70 groups to come here and a lot of people to get down to the Landing to watch them?
I think it's just the fact that it speaks to the common person. I think it's just there's a realness to it, and it's just something about the blues that just attracts people to it. I mean, it attracted me to it. I started playing with Fontella bass, I guess early 90s. I started as a background singer, and then I eventually moved to playing guitar for her. She taught me the blues, actually. So
you're related, are you not?
Yeah, I'm actually married to her youngest daughter.
Well, that's so she's your mother-in-law,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's really, and you're doing Jeremy, doing a tribute to Fontella, are you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, for the last few years, we've done tribute shows to some of St. Louis legends that have passed. We've done Tommy Bankhead, Henry Townsend, Johnny Johnson. Mm-hmm. This year, it's Fontella Bass and Oliver Sane, and those take place at the National Blues Museum before the music starts on the Landing.
I'd like to go back to the music a little bit more. You talk, it's music of the people. The heritage of this music, the blues, is really most interesting because it comes from a lot of different sources, doesn't it, Tracy?
Yeah, it does. It's rooted in gospel. It's soulful. It talks about everyday issues that people have. So that's where I think the connection comes.
We have a couple of selections that we can play here and get a sense for people who are maybe not all that familiar with it as to what we're talking about. And I'll ask, I'm not sure which one of you should do this. How do you like your blues is the first one we're going to hear. How do we set that up? What's going to be different about this, or what's special about this?
Sure. So all three of these songs come off of the St. Louis Blues Society's compilation CDs. That I also run the St. Louis Blues Society, so we put out a different CD every year of compilation, of original music, and this one is by Tisa Easby. It's all original. She performs with Tori Casey and the Southside Hustle, who will also be performing at the festival. And it's also Tisa's birthday today, so it's fitting that we start with her.
What should we be listening for?
Oh, the quality of St. Louis. These were recorded at the Blue Lotus studio, run by Paul Niehaus. St. Louis's quality of, we talk about the music, and our blues is different than a lot of cities' blues because we're not defined by recordings, because we haven't had a huge industry. Mm-hmm. So you hear a little bit of soul, a little bit of blues, a little bit of R&B, some Delta in all of the music that we play.
How do you like your blues?
When I was a little girl, my granddaddy school
That's pretty distinctive stuff. Tracy, almost difficult keeping you in your chair when that when that started.
I just love the blues. My wife is she's a blues head as well. I mean, it's just one of those genres that that feel good.
Not everybody is attracted to the blues, but a lot of people are. And you say that it's because it's kind of down-home, spiritual, gospel. It's got a little bit of everything going for it.
It's really organic, and it's a feel-good music, and it comes from a good place, I believe. I don't consider it to be a negative place. I think it has comedy in it and everything, and it just comes from a good place.
Why do you think St. Louis has been so central and such an important part of the blues story?
Well, I think because, a lot of people that are born in the South migrated to St. Louis. So I think those are some of the traditions that they brought with them, as far as music is concerned.
And this is really, Jeremy, the hotbed up in the country, you would say. How about New Orleans and places to the South?
Yeah, I don't think one has to be better than the other, first of all. And in St. Louis, we were always been a breeding ground for music. I mean, the list of musicians that came out of St. Louis or were influenced by St. Louis, whether it's Scott Joplin all the way to Chuck Berry and all the people in between, this is a place where people came and made music. And it continues to happen every day in St. Louis.
Right. Is there a St. Louis blues? In other words, is it distinctive here for any reason that it might not be in other places?
It's a really interesting question. Yeah. We've been talking about it for as long as I've been, I've been a musician for almost 20 years now, and we had that conversation. The thing is many of, like a New Orleans situation, is they have all those recordings, so people kind of go back and listen to the recordings and say, hey, this is what the sound is. It sounds like this. And because our recording industry is not as hot as that was at the time, it's hard for us to identify that sound. So, for instance, that's been one of the goals of the Blues Society's compilation CDs. If you mix up all those 60 songs, you kind of have that sound. Personally, I feel like it's the space in between. We leave a lot of space for music, and we don't overplay. We're not too loud, and it's got its own rhythm.
But Tracy, why don't we have this recording tradition that other places might have? I mean, given our background in this genre,
St. Louis just feels like a melting pot. I mean, since we're centrally located, I think there are more distinct sounds from the South and then from the East and the West, and I think St. Louis kind of conjoins all of those together.
Let's listen to another number here, and Will You Change Your Ways? Again, let's set this up. Is there anything special about this that we should know?
It's performed by Marquise Knox, the one and only.
All righty. Well, let's listen to Will You Change Your Ways, and then we'll have another guest come and join us, I understand.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I want to know, will you change your way? I want to know, will you change your way? I can't keep living like this longer, honey, day by day. Where you once had told me that your love was true. Where you once had told me that your love was true. Now you done gone back to doing things you used to do. My baby won't change her ways. My baby won't change.
Will You Change Your Ways, Marquise Knox. Boy, this joint is jumping now because we now have a new guest who has joined us. Vocalist Renee Smith has sneaked into the studio. You are billed as a St. Louis legend who has been singing the blues for a long time, but I'm not going to ask you for how long.
I don't mind telling you how long.
Well, how long then?
40 plus.
Really? What is it about the blues that has had you doing this for 40 years?
It's a feeling. The blues comes from deep within. You have to feel what you're doing. And if you can't feel it, then it's no point in you trying to sing it. It starts way down in the deep of your soul. And I feel the blues. If there's a song that I'm going to perform, I have to relate to it and feeling it. If I've experienced it, it's a good thing because I'll sing it. If I have not experienced it, then I can't sing it. So I have to feel the blues in order to sing it.
When did you first feel it? I don't mean how many years ago, but do you remember the experience when you suddenly realized this is what I've got to do?
Actually, yes, at a young age, because I started singing at a very young age. It's okay, 17. I'm happy. I'm blessed to be here. I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, so I don't mind telling you. I started at the age of 16, really, with the blues band. And the gentleman taught me all the blues, and he used to sing them, and I wanted to sing the blues because he was singing them. And then I thought, well, I can't just sing the blues because I like singing other musics, other genres of music. But when I start singing the song called Going Down Slow, that kind of made me feel, okay, this is the blues, this is what you need to do. That was the time at an early age. Mr. Larry Smith taught me that song, and I've been singing it. I sing it on all my shows.
Tracy, when did you first know that this is what you had to do?
Well, when I got with Fontella, I was young and I didn't know much, and she took me under her wing, and she actually taught me the blues. And then once I heard her sing, and it was just her inspiration that really brought me into this.
But there was a feeling. There was a moment in which you realized that's what you had to do.
When you hear that music, you know, it just does something to you on the inside.
Jeremy, same question to you. When did you know?
As soon as I heard it. You know, I was probably an early teenager and I was exposed to more rock and roll, but as soon as you find Muddy Waters or James Cotton or Buddy Guy, for me, those were the guys. I just stopped listening to the other stuff, and this is all I've been listening to since then, more or less.
Couldn't help it, could you?
I couldn't.
It's that feeling.
And then I was around 25 when I started playing music with Benny Smith, you know, St. Louis legend. And when they found out I had a guitar, they said, well, you're going to be a guitar player, so go ahead.
Well, you got to have a guitar, right?
You do.
You got to have a guitar.
Renee, let me come back to you. And I'm just curious about something. You mentioned that you're a 3-time cancer survivor.
Yes.
Good for you for that.
Thank you.
How did that contribute to the way you perform the blues, or did it?
Well, a lot of it did contribute to it because I was singing. After I found out I had cancer the first time, I started singing more and more blues because I could feel that. And I thought, well, you better sing it because you're feeling it and you're living it. And these are the blues. The cancer is the blues. So I felt deep down within myself, I need to do it because I might not get a chance to sing it again. So every time I sing it, I'm singing as though it's my last time. So blues is just deep down in me. It's my heritage, it's my roots. That's where it came from, and that's why I sing the blues.
Tracy, you can't fake this stuff. I mean, that's becoming quite clear.
Not at all. I mean, you either feel it or you don't. So, and it's just something that I feel. I love B.B. King and Fenton Robinson and all those guys. They just bring an inspiration. You know, this is just a musical inspiration. The blues is.
Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about what's going on this weekend, because a lot is going on. You've got 70 different groups. How is this all structured? I mean, nobody's going to be able to see all 70 of them.
No, absolutely not. So this festival's been happening on the Landing in one form or another for 30 years. We also think it's the longest running blues or music festival in the city. We don't know of another one. So the Landing, we have 3 outdoor stages and we have 4 indoor stages. The outdoor stages tend to have more of the bands. There's 2 stages on 2nd Street on the north and south side, and another stage up on 3rd Street. And then we've done some specialty stuff on the indoor stages. There's a stage that only has a piano and a mic. You know, St. Louis is a piano town, whether it's Johnny Johnson or Scott Johnson.
And guitar.
It is also a guitar. There's also another stage with solo guitar acts. And then within that, you have such a wide range of sound. So, you know, you come down and basically you have access to all 7 stages. They go from 3 to 11. There'll be fireworks on Sunday. It's going to be a really good time.
What's it going to cost people?
It is $15 a day or 2 days for $25. We've done the math, and that is 32 cents a band.
That's a pretty
Very
good bargain.
expensive.
But yes, yes.
What's this going to do for the landing?
So the landing's been great to continue to host Big Muddy through all of the construction, and when we lost Mississippi Nights, which is where this festival started, and now that all the construction's down, there are new businesses opening up. It's actually a great time for the landing. Hopefully it exposes people that you can walk straight from the Arch grounds or straight from the casino. I mean, it's the oldest neighborhood in St. Louis. It's cobblestone streets. I mean, it's about as St. Louis as you get.
Tracy, what are you going to be performing? With whom and where and when?
I will be performing the Fontella Bass Tribute at the National Blues Museum this Saturday, September the 1st. And that's going to be between 12:30 and 2:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna have a lot of great guests. Marcia Evans is going to be singing with us. The Bosman Twins will be playing, and Laya Beth LaFleur, she'll be emceeing and hosting. She won an NAACP Image Award for her literary work, and so it's just going to be a good time. Me and my wife, Fontella's daughter, has been coordinating this thing. I'll be playing with Skeet Rogers too later that evening, and then I'll be playing with Love Jones the following day.
You sound like you're almost as busy as Jeremy over here. Renee, how about
Great
you?
thing.
What about your performances?
My performance will be on September the 2nd, 8 p.m. on 3rd Street. And I'll be performing with the great drummer, Mr. Keith Robinson, that played for Mr. Chuck Berry, and Dennis Brock, Eugene Johnson, and Wade Long. We will be on stage together. And I must mention the fact that I did perform or open for Miss Aretha Franklin. God bless you, Aretha. I have to say something about her because she's such a wonderful person, and she lined the streets for us. And I just want to say that we opened for her the 12th of October in 2012 when we opened the Peabody. Really? I want to say I was on stage. I didn't get a chance to meet her, but I opened for her.
We had Denise Times on yesterday, and they go way back together.
Oh, yes, they do.
She was told quite a story about her relationship.
She did her birthday party.
Okay, we're going to go out with another little piece of music. Jeremy, I'll ask you to set this up. The one that we are looking at is what? I wonder?
Sure. It's another one off of the Blues Society CDs, and it is only fitting since it's a Skeet Rogers and the Inner City Blues Band tune.
I think we've got something else that we can bring in here. I was sitting here waiting by Renee Smith.
Oh.
We've got that. So
really?
that's what we're going to hear as we say goodbye,
Perfect.
which we have to do. Which you have to do now. So I want to thank all of you, and remember the big Muddy River Blues Festival is going to be taking place this weekend down on Laclede's Landing. I want to thank you all, Jeremy Segal-Moss and Tracy Mitchell and Renee Smith for being with us. I hear you now, Renee. Now I'm getting my act together here, but there we are.
Thank you so much.
It's been great to see you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Don.
Well, that's it for us for today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Don Marsh.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.